Mpox. Man, what the hell are you doing, man? Mpox. The World Health Organization is starting to encourage people to pay attention to the fact that we may actually be going into a global spreading of this mad Mpox. Monkeypox is what it used to be called. But what's going through your minds right now? Is it, should I buy some toilet paper? You know what happened with COVID. People only started taking COVID seriously when they realized they couldn't buy toilet paper. And in the end, they never needed toilet paper. I don't even know how that came about. The thing that's going through my mind is, surely there's going to be another company that's going to benefit from this. What happened last time during the COVID crash was everything dropped because they had to shut everything down. Businesses weren't allowed to operate. Retail just ended up being online. So that was happy days for those guys. People were locked in at their homes. Even businesses were struggling. Many businesses closed. But the businesses that were able to move online ended up taking advantage of a service called Zoom. And then, of course, Zoom's share price skyrocketed because of the demand for people using Zoom. So now the question really stands. Are you going to be worried about buying toilet paper? Or if history is going to teach us something, hypothetically, if we were to go into another lockdown because of this new virus, which stocks are going to benefit from it? In this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to walk you through a hypothetical scenario. And that is, if we were to go into a lockdown, which stocks or crypto or Forex should we be paying attention to? And if history is going to teach us something, well, history in this instance looks like it's going to repeat itself and also bloody rhyme as well. Let's have a conversation, ladies and gentlemen. So the World Health Organization has declared that Mpox is a global health emergency. Well, what is it? Well, it was formerly known as monkeypox. So in other words, it's come back again. It's come to pop up its head. Now, going into the article, it shows us here that it has come around from the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's killed around 450 people so far, and it's now starting to spread across certain parts of Central and East Africa. Now, how do we contract this? Well, it's starting to show the same signs as COVID. Close quarters contact, all right? So you got to stay away from someone. You certainly can't get laid. And on top of that, the talking and breathing is something that can also enable you to contract this disease. So in other words, ladies and gentlemen, stay home. Don't even bother going out looking for a little bit of how's your father. Don't talk, don't breathe near anyone. How's that going to work? Well, the only way that they can achieve that is to put everyone in a lockdown. So let's just jump forward and imagine that that was the case. And that you have got a time, like a mystic ball, that says at this day in time, there will be a lockdown because of this virus. Well, let's just go back and look at what happened last time. In front of you, you've got Zoom. Zoom Video Communications, a computer software enterprise company. Prior to the actual pandemic of COVID, their share price was $60 a share. Then, of course, when everything went into lockdown, businesses still needed to operate. That led their share price to skyrocket to around $605 a share because everyone was at home. Businesses were still able to operate in the best way they could. They needed the software. Happy days to Zoom. Then, of course, the pandemic was over. No one was interested anymore. They couldn't scare people anymore. And then done. It come all the way back down to that $60 mark. And it is currently trading at around $55 a share. But you can see that because people were using this software and there was a change in the way that we were living, naturally, that's going to then lead the share price to go up because the markets will still operate. Because traders are what? They're at home or they're in certain cubicles at the time when they started to close everything off, wearing masks, you name it. The markets still move. So now we're going to be thinking, well, what stocks could we get involved in? Remember the Mystic Ball. If the Mystic Ball tells you that in 2 weeks' time, we're going to go into a lockdown, well, let's start looking at the stocks that previously benefited from the lockdown. Here we have the pandemic winners, the 10 best performing US companies. Starts off at the top with Moderna as one of the vaccine pioneers, tops the list of all companies whose stock price grew the most since January 13th, 2020. Okay, they completely ripped it apart. From what I understand here, they actually grew 900. There you go, Moderna, stock up by 937%. So vaccine companies, that's the first thing that we need to be thinking about. Going down into second place is energy. These guys will end up being positive of around 366%. When everybody's digging for gold, it's good to be in the pick and shovel business. Mark Twain smashed it with that comment, okay? Enphase Energy is one of these shovel providers for a new type of gold rush sparked by the inevitable conversion to cleaner energy, a trend that persisted during the pandemic. The company designs software-driven home energy solutions and was the first to commercialize a technology that is necessary to convert solar panel power to grid-compatible alternating current. So 30 million of these microinverters have been shipped already. There you go, a need. Nvidia comes into play, 322%. This is where the guys in crypto benefited if they wanted to start mining. What about all the kids that were told that they had to stay at home? They wanted the PCs. Streaming started to evolve around that time. That's when Nvidia ended up exploding or starting to climb up. Not to forget about what's been going on lately, but nonetheless. Nvidia, a tech stock, people at home using the computers, demand for computers. Etsy, stock up 248%. Why? Because people are sat at home. Oh, you know what? I'm bored of this TV show. Man, that sofa doesn't look good. Maybe I should put a picture above there. Or maybe I should buy. Maybe I should. All right? When you're idle with your phone, ladies and gentlemen, that's what happens. So people started spending money. But not just the people that were spending the money. What about the creators? The people that were actually creating these items, these artists, they were feeding that. Now, let's be honest. How many of you actually raided up Amazon when you were in the pandemic? I know I did. I would always go, I always shop on Amazon for something that I want. But I've already got it in my mind what I need. So I quickly search it. Who's got the best price? Happy days, I'll take it. But I started going on Amazon, looking around Amazon. Have you actually had a look at what's on Amazon? You'll be surprised, man. And that's when I started getting these parcels. I was loving life. Every day was Christmas for me. Because it was like, oh, what's this? I don't know what it was. I opened it. Oh, wow. That item that I didn't really need. But at the time that I ordered it, it sounded like a great idea because I was bored. Online marketplaces. They too could benefit from this. Okay, Tino. So you've told me about the successes of companies in the previous pandemic. So online marketplaces, Etsy, maybe even Amazon, okay? Communication companies, tech companies like Nvidia, all right? Energy companies, because people are at home thinking they want to be a little bit more energy efficient and start downloading all sorts of software because they can't be bothered to press a button. They just look at the phone and be like, blow into their phone because it's going to think, oh, you want the AC on, so it works it out. You get where I'm going with all of this. That's where tech can send people. Send them mad, man. So now let's just go into the idea of, let's assume that that could happen again. Because if no one learned from the previous pandemic and they didn't get themselves online, that means that a company like Zoom, even though it was trading at $60 a share before COVID, the second COVID come, it shot up to $600 a share. Well, now it's back at the same point and we've now got a new disease. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is just me speaking hypothetically. At least by the end of this video, you're going to have a good idea of how to approach the likelihood of another lockdown. Or what companies could you benefit from or invest in that are going to see a benefit from a pandemic? We know vaccine companies are going to do it. We know biochemistry companies are going to be doing well. So you're going to be looking in the medical department. And listen, regardless of whatever's going on in the world, whether it's a recession, whether it's high interest rates, whether it is war, aerospace and defense will always succeed and medical will always succeed. Why? Because people, regardless of what's going on in the world, will always eat bad food. They will always be sick. They will always take a tablet because they just don't drink water. I don't take tablets. When I get a headache, I just drink water and a bit of Celtic salt. But anyway, that's irrelevant. But people's nature is the same. So if we go into the idea of something like that happening again, how are we going to understand it actually being an opportunity for us to profit from? And it's the sad truth, ladies and gentlemen, it is. But this is the name of the game that you are in. One man's fun is another's hell. My Metallica fans know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's get to the charts. In front of you. Looks like a really cool chart, doesn't it? Look at that for a pump and dump. Looks like it got listed pancake swap style. No. This right here is the volatility index at the time of COVID. The volatility index shot up to 99. The old saying holds true. When it's high, you buy. If you had purchased any stock around that time, and the time that it peaked out, ladies and gentlemen, was March 20th, okay? You would have been picking up stock on the cheap. Let's go and have a look at the stock market during that time. Go into it. 2020 March, let's go back. Here we go. Look what happened there. The crash, volatility index up, the stock market down. Then on March, where is it? Here we go. We'll zoom straight in right there. That would put us at this is terrible. March the 23rd, the market closed positive, okay? And then it shot up from there. Happened to recover back into the green or the red vector candles. But that's another story. For anybody new to the channel and you haven't got this indicator, this is the hybrid system. And the hybrid system is a free system that you can download from TradingView. Okay? I'll introduce that to you in a second. All you need to do is go to tradersreality.com, click the info bar up here, and you'll be able to download the indicator free of charge. It will take you through this, join the Discord, hybrid system indicator, click that bar right there, and it will take you straight to TradingView to download the indicator. All right? Now, let's get back into it. The stock market had reversed from that point because the volatility index had shot up. So the first thing that you're looking for, ladies and gentlemen, is where will the volatility index be if there were to be another pandemic or another lockdown? It would be represented right here on this chart, okay? So the first thing you want to do is look for this chart, the volatility index, ticker symbol VIX, V-I-X. So hypothetically, we see the volatility index shoot up. Now we need to start going into companies that are going to benefit from the pandemic, assuming that history repeats itself. So then that puts us with Zoom. What other companies could be operating or doing just as good as Zoom during that pandemic, and assuming that we're going into a new one? You've got companies like AudioEye, GoDaddy. People are going to get adventurous. Why? Because they're going to want to create something. And what are they going to do? They're going to want to sell it. And where they're going to sell it? On websites like Etsy. So you've got a web domain company called GoDaddy. You go over to GoDaddy and you can see that it's currently trading at $162 a share. And because we're all moving online and what have you, GoDaddy is doing very well. As it says, it provides website hosting, building, security tools, other associated business applications for small businesses. So the person that wants to sell on Etsy needs to have a website or sell on Etsy. But fundamentally, we can also go back to Etsy as well and look at Etsy's share price. Here's Etsy. Have a look over there. And we can see right now it's trading at a significant discount. We go over and look at its share price during the pandemic, and you can see from 2020 when it bottomed out, you can see it shot up to around $300 a share. And that was the benefit of the pandemic. So now you know website hosting, Selling online with Etsy, what other companies could we benefit from? Well, I wouldn't really pay attention to Amazon so much, but if Amazon does actually perform well and people just continue to buy on that, I mean, just look at it. It's just killing it right now. And it's only $176 a share. Going into the weekly chart itself, you can see it's pulling back a little bit. So naturally, when the pandemic comes, or if we do go into a lockdown, the impact of that is going to send stocks to the downside. You're going to go back over to the volatility index and say, yo, where are we? Oh, we're beyond 90 or beyond 100. Oh, this means business. That's when you load up into companies like Amazon, Etsy, Zoom, because human nature will only go back to what they knew. Zoom performed well during the pandemic. Etsy performed well. Okay? Vaccine companies performed well. And we know people are going to be doing well. We know companies are going to be doing well with vaccines because people are going to be looking for an alternative to make sure that they don't get it. So they're naturally going to be taking vaccines. Vaccine providers are going to go crazy and they're going to create whatever vaccine it is they're going to create. But investing in medical stocks is naturally going to be something that you want to be paying attention to. Now, what about other assets that we normally trade? For example, Bitcoin, Forex, Euro, you name it. Well, let's just go now and have a look at what had happened to the Euro during that time. So we go back to 2020 and you can see that Euro had in principle also made a drop to the downside. We're just going to have a look at it right here. What is going on? Here we go. So the impact on Euro wasn't that much, but Euro was already trending lower and then it just decided to shoot up from that point. Going over into the dollar itself, we go have a look and we can say, all right, then where's the dollar at? Where was the dollar at during that time? We go over to 2020 and you can see, here's the best bit about it. At the time of 2020, the dollar also was shooting up from that point. We go over to the bonds market. Where were investors' heads at that time? Zoom out. Let's go over and have a look at the bonds. Over there, you can see everyone had rushed to the bonds. Look at how high the bonds went. They went all the way up to 110. That is crazy. They were pretty scared about things, okay? And then, of course, we go into it, the NASDAQ itself. Refresh that, go back to 2020, and you can see they had made a significant gain to the upside. So, and then let's not forget good old BTC. What was Bitcoin doing at the time of the actual pandemic? Well, this is what frustrates me about Bitcoin, okay? It was doing ever so well. Where was it? March. There we go. March. And it just completely went to the upside. All right. And it was all down to on-chain analytics or something mysterious was going on. It was the demand for cryptocurrency. I'll tell you what it was, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll be straight with you all right now. You had time to pay attention to it. 90% of people were on social media. 90% of people around the world during the COVID crisis were on social media watching and trying to learn what's going to happen next. You're telling me that there wasn't no single advert for miners, for cryptocurrency, do this, if you're bored, make money online and all of that. Cryptocurrency comes around, bang, cryptocurrency makes a shifty move to the upside. And then, of course, we have the endorsement from Elon when he bought Bitcoin. And then it just went crazy from that point. Around the time that Bitcoin had turned was when the actual pandemic started to slow down and then it started to pull back. Then we had the interest rates. Now, if you look at it, we're going into a reduction of interest rates. It's like they're setting it all up. Think about it now. Let me just bring it back to you. Think about it. Before the pandemic, we had low interest rates. The rate that the interest rates were for the US were around 0.25%. So basically money was free. All right. Then it all starts going up. There's madness. Stock market's shooting up. Like there's economic expansion like no tomorrow. Then what happens? COVID starts to disappear. The impact of all that buying that had happened, all that cash injection from the governments had caused a little bit of a problem called inflation. So then what happened? The US government decides to increase the interest rates. They start going up, which is naturally what led Bitcoin to come down, okay? And then all throughout that time, Bitcoin then tries to make another move to the upside, and then it fails during that, and then we see the increases in the interest rates. Investors start pulling their money away from cryptocurrency because they want to start seeking a safer option. Now look at where we are. We're now going into interest rate cuts. So that means money is going to start getting cheaper. Maybe they decrease the interest rates as fast as they can and as much as they can to effectively bring it down to a level where they can re-borrow again. The stock market collapses, everything goes down, volatility index shoots up, the market corrects, and then it just starts happening over and over again. The buying. It's chaos across the board. The interest rates are down. The Fed has pivoted. It's now cheaper to pick up dollar. Money starts to circulate again. Congratulations, you have yourself another economic expansion. All on the back of what? Another pandemic and another lockdown. I'm just speculating here. I'm only telling you what could happen in the future. Whether it happens or not, different story. But it's happened before. And money makes the world go round, ladies and gentlemen. Now to go into a little bit of price action, because I won't be going live this evening. Looking at Bitcoin, we can see that it's actually moved up pretty well, but it seems like it's really slow. Remember, we've got the options expiry happening tomorrow, 8 a.m. UTC, which is 9 a.m. UK time, GMT. Now, what we've got to be mindful of is Bitcoin can't get above that 60,000, then we're going to have a little bit of a problem, which is now forcing me to effectively get rid of this trade that I've got right here with Bitcoin, okay? So I took a long on Bitcoin, and we're currently in $280 profit, and we've got ourselves a little, 279% gain with 250x leverage. I've explained to you what leverage is all about. Make sure that you are not putting down the house and exposing yourself. I knew what my risk factor was. I know what I'm prepared to lose, and I'm fine with that from the second the trade is open, okay? Put in $1,000, well, $1,192 is what the cost of the trade itself. That's what it's going to cost me. Then left a little bit of margin in there, maybe about $1,000. I know I can lose $2,000. I'm at peace with that. I improved the odds of the trade going in my favor by focusing on the hybrid system. And the hybrid system said to me today that we were going to see movement to the upside, okay? Now, if we just go over to the Platinum membership area where I provide these setups, this is what I was projecting today for the guys. So we were looking for Bitcoin to make a run to the upside to take out the red vector candle region. Now, granted, Bitcoin could continue to move higher, okay? And we are going into the options expiry tomorrow. So it could move up a little bit more. But for me, I'm going to be closing that trade, and I will probably do that very, very shortly. Okay, but we wanted to see Bitcoin move up, and we got the move up. Okay, so those guys had made a penny or two, and most of the guys had made a little bit more money on the euro trade because the euro trade completely ripped to the downside. And I did instruct them and say, yo guys, make sure you're taking some profits off the table. Why? Because euro managed to recover back up. This is the important thing about taking profits. Now, Bitcoin doesn't move as fast as euro, but remember what I said about the idea of value in the last live stream, all right? How many euros now can I pick up being so cheap at that price point? How many dollars have I got that will allow me to pick up more euros? The idea of value is always going to be going through hedge traders, mutual funds, brains all the time because they profit from the spread of it, okay? Now, going into Bitcoin itself, we are going to assume that Bitcoin cannot take the 60,000. It could actually make the move to the upside. And if you want a little bit more detail on whether it can or not, join the Platinum membership. You get a 20% discount on the website, and it gives you access to a number of things. Go to the membership tab. The membership tab will show you the masterclass sessions. Inside of the masterclass sessions that you get with the Platinum membership, and of course with the Gold membership, but you get 20% off the Platinum membership. So you use the code NEWMEMBER to take advantage of this. You get masterclasses. There's around 80 of them with various strategies that we use in the hybrid system, okay? 80 sessions. There's a lot to get through, but in my opinion, you get through those, you'll know the hybrid system very well. You get access to live trading videos, and every week on a Saturday and a Sunday, I do a weekly review, and I also do a market watch projection, which I'm looking to see where assets are going to end up at the end of the week. But it's more of a macro breakdown and takes into consideration where we are macroeconomically speaking. Okay? If you want to participate in that, take advantage of that. It's in the description of this video. Okay? So with that being said, given that Bitcoin in tonight's Asian session will be enjoying the benefit of what's happened with today's news, we're going to want to know if Asia is going to sell or they're going to continue and start marking prices higher. Going into it all, you can see Bitcoin with the bids and the offers, happy days. What have we got? Well, we have had an influx of long liquidations right here. But that has naturally encouraged the market maker to encourage people to do what? Go short. And now he's running for those shorts. There is a little zone right here, ladies and gentlemen, that Bitcoin could go and sweep effectively towards the top side around 60,000. That's why I'm waiting for the 60,000 point, because then that means that they would have captured that 60,000. All the options traders will be getting a little bit excited because price is now above the 60K point, which is where they need it to be. Otherwise, their options will be deemed worthless. So it's all eyes on Asia this evening. Now, if you're going to try and trade that logic, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to pay attention to Bitcoin on the smaller time frames to understand if they can actually continue with that narrative. But I'll be doing a video, a breakdown tonight for the Platinum members to understand the chances of that actually happening. So if you want to learn that, watch that video, check out the Platinum membership. It's worth your time and you will make back the money that you're paying for it. Simple as. Now, moving on. My position right here, I'm always saying pay yourselves, okay? I'm ready to close this trade off. And you know what? I'm doing it now. That's me closing off the trade. The risk is gone. That's paying yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Done. Now I've got myself a nice little $5,842. I will withdraw that and start again with another $2,000. Keep on doing that, ladies and gentlemen. Probably reduce my size, but the reason why I took the trade was simple. They had left behind the red vector candle right here on the hour time frame. They had made the move to the upside. They have gone into the vector candle itself in principle, as you can see right here, but now they've pulled back. I don't want to take the risk of price going down even further to recover the what? The green vector candle. Now, holders, it's a different story for you guys. Why? Because you're looking at a bigger time frame, okay? And you're looking over a bigger scale of movement. So this little move to the upside has probably got your attention. I'd be waiting for Bitcoin to try and make a little bit of a retrace first in the bigger picture, which could take you into the weekend. And then over the weekend, we see Bitcoin trading sideways. And then we go into the week next week. And then we've effectively got ourselves some more interesting news announcements because it's all about the manufacturing sector and whether or not the US economy is contracting. And if the Fed does need to actually cut the interest rates quicker rather than later. Okay? Now, the actual platform that I've been using is the BTCC platform. Now, this is for anyone that is in the US, and you can use it from anywhere in the world, by the way. It does not require a VPN or a KYC. Great for anyone that's in the States. You get a 10% bonus. But the reason why I'm advertising this to you guys is because we've got a trading competition. Over here, you can see that you've got, where is it? There we go. What's going on with this computer, man? I just want to smash this thing. Oh, God. You got the BTCC trading competition. There is 20 days left. Okay, so ideally what you want to be looking out for is the prize pool going up and the number of participants getting involved in this. And you want to take advantage of winning up to 60K in the prize pool. Okay, so in order to take advantage of that, go over to BTCC. Everything's in the description of the video itself. Sign up with BTCC first. Don't deposit with fiat. You're going to then be required to do KYC. Deposit with crypto, no KYC. And then if you've if you've actually signed up to BTCC, you click register and then it will say you can trade from there because it will pick it up straight away. All right? Well, if you've made it this far, maybe this close, comment something in the section of the comments. What a guy. I'm leaving this bit in. I'm done with editing videos. I like to do lives. So if you've made it this far, please comment your favorite joke. And I will read that favorite joke in tomorrow's live. Well, one of the jokes. Just comment something in the comment section, man. I don't know how I managed to do this. I really don't. Mike, I know. I've got Mike in my brain. Comment. Tell them to comment something. Well, tell me a joke, man. I'll read it out. I'll read the best joke out there, and I'll read some more as well. But besides the jokes and the madness, ladies and gentlemen, The Mpox story is going to get people a little bit concerned. But I believe that using certain tools we've mentioned in tonight's video, I believe that we're going to have at least a chance at understanding what stock could do well, whether it's crypto, whether it's Forex, whatever it is. You are aware now of certain industries that are going to benefit from another pandemic or another lockdown. And even if we don't get the pandemic or the lockdown, you'll have a good idea of what companies are going to benefit from this story about Mpox. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, mad love and respect. I'm going to keep this bit in the video. Why do I pause all the time? My God, you know how hard it is to record videos? I'm telling you now, it's difficult because everything has to be said. Anyway, mad love and respect, mad love to you. Why is he saying it so many times? You're lucky I ain't winking. Peace. Oh, what's he done there? No.